my dream to be a wife and a mom. So the 5-year-old that had a baby that was pretending she was nursing, that was me. And that was my dream. And so I grew up in a pretty stable home and really started living for the Lord back in '98. And since then, it's just been a nonstop journey. A few months ago, things started getting difficult concerning the desires of my heart. When I interned with Teen Mania Ministries back in '98 and '99, and couldn't date while I was there, which was not a problem since I'd never dated before, much to my chagrin. I had wanted to, and God knew that if I did, I would not make the right choices, and so He hedged me in behind and before on the left and on the right with lots of thorns to keep me from going after other lovers. And there was much heartache in the midst of that and much rejection, but I'm grateful for it. My favorite verse is Hosea 2:15 that says that the valley of Acre, which means troubling, will become a door of hope. And I have seen the troublings of life become a door of hope. So I came home from Teen Mania, and God said, don't date for 5 years. So I said, all right, no problem, which kept me from making some other unwise choices, including falling in love with a Muslim, which is obviously an unwise decision. My heart wasn't guarded, but because of that decision and commitment to not date for 5 years, it kept me from moving forward in what could have been a marriage and a disaster. So I'm thankful for that commitment. I expected that after 5 years, the man would come and we'd get on with life. That hasn't happened. It's been 10 years, and I'm still waiting. So as much as it's been the desire of my heart to be married, it's not been something that has been like devastating in the wait. It's been like, okay, someday. My Habibi is the Arabic word for my love, and so I'm always like, Habibi, wananti, where are you, my love? But in general, I'm pretty good with it, just trusting that God is doing a work and He'll complete that, hopefully soon. Back in November, it seemed like everywhere I turned, I was hearing, it's not good for man to be alone, it's not good for man to be alone, and I was like, yes and amen to that, Lord. Like, come on, like, there is some man out there, it's not good for him, Lord. I will help you with that process, because man, I bless him, and I want to be a part of that, just it being a good thing for him, because it's the desire of my heart, like the word says, that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. I'm like, come on, Lord, bring that favor to that man, because it's not good. So, but I was doing all right. I was dialoguing with the Lord, which is a constant thing. And then about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving hit, something in me was just like, okay, where is He? Because I'm done. I'm done, Lord. And just an incredible place of being broken and vulnerable and like, enough, really, like, we've not done what needs to be done because I'm over this weight. And was really broken, and there were many tears and many sobs, and then I pull myself together because I've got to get up at 5 in the morning. So I go into my bathroom, which I put my phone in the bathroom with my alarm on, so I have to get my butt out of bed at 5 in the morning to go turn it off, because the one next to the bed can just too easily be turned off. So I'm pulling myself together before bed, and I get a text message from my best friend that simply says, we're engaged. I'm bawling again, like the wailing begins again, and I'm just like feeling like a jerk then, because this person who's one of my greatest friends has just gotten engaged to an incredible man and has had an incredible God story. And I'm, woe is me, you know, like, enough, God. And I felt guilty. I had my own drama and then guilt heaped on top of it, because I felt like I needed to be rejoicing and I wasn't, because my heart ached. So I went to bed with tears and woke up and was like, all right, I'm going to need your help on communicating, because we're probably going to communicate today. I got a text from her that said scream. I texted back, screaming back. Had a whole lot of screaming going on in my world. But was like, okay, we're just going to process through this, Lord. Help, 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 help. Grace, grace, let your grace abound, Lord, in the midst of my incredible funk. And so that night, I was going with a girl that I've been mentoring to do some Arabic artwork, like henna, because they had a holiday that was coming up that I celebrate in order to share the gospel with them. And so she was coming with me to learn more about this and to engage in the Muslim world. And so I told her, I said, hey, I'm really vulnerable right here. So if you'd be praying for me on the side, really appreciate that. So she's like, yeah, sure, good. So we go and we do our thing. It's good with this Arabic family and just in community and being the light in the darkness. And then the next day, one of my other best friends was here from out of state, and we had dinner and we were talking, and I said, I'm so ready for him to come. And she's like, you just need a good Christian guy. And I'm like, I need a Christian guy that loves Arabs. And she says to me, well, don't you think that's limiting God? And many people, and I know them well, and their hearts are good. They're like, just, you can teach him. You can teach him to love Arabs. And I'm like, no, because I don't believe in missionary dating. Like, I'm not going to convert you, and I'm not going to lead you to your calling. You need to be established in that already. And so I said to her, I can't. Like, I have to submit to this guy someday, especially in ministry, and I need to know that I can trust his leadership. And so I said, I know myself. I would be usurping his authority if I didn't trust where he had been in ministry. And she said, well, whose issue is that, yours or his? And I said, okay, true that. Jesus, make me teachable. If I'm missing you in any way in this, I'm willing to have my heart changed, but this is the conviction that you've given me. So unless you change it, I can't be swayed. So I went home that night, and it was an even worse evening than Sunday, and an even worse evening than Monday, and I was just beside myself. And I texted another very good friend who's out in Washington State, because it was 1 in the morning here. And I knew if I texted anyone else for prayer, I could tick some people off, and I needed prayer instead of them being angry. So I texted her, a very wise woman, and said, I need prayer. My heart is broken, and I feel like a jerk because I need to be celebrating for my best friend, and I'm not. And she responded back with words of wisdom, of grace, and it being okay that I was where I was at, that it's a very real process, and it's all right that my heart hurt because I longed for something. And she wisely said, fake it for your friend until it's real. And thankfully, I didn't have to with my friend because we texted all week, so I could like hide my ache until it was time when I could actually be authentic in the joy that I have for her. I talked to my mentor the next evening, and I said, Kim, am I wrong in my conviction? And she and her husband have been mentoring me for the past 2 years, and they know my heart, they know my convictions, and they know my perspective on many things. I lived with them for 9 months, them and their 8 kids, so I had quite the experience, and God did much healing and restoration. So she says to me, I say, let eHarmony weed him out. And I'm like, what? Hold on a second. She knows me. I'll play eHarmony. Like, no. My God, he parted the Red Sea. Like, he knows where I am. He knows where the man is that he created for me. And I need eHarmony's help. No, he does not. Like, God bless anybody else that feels like that's the avenue they're supposed to take. Not my avenue. Like, wrong turn, not going. Like, it's just not going to happen. And so she knows this about me, and I'm like,